Not working for me, so I don't know about you guys. I didn't see any of that awesome beach stepping intro, but oh yeah, stepping on the beach, the only place to read your emails and tweets. It's Thursday, October 15th. This is No Dunks on the Athletic podcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, I think here through the power of technology, Tass Mellis.
It's quite fitting for 2020, isn't it? The confusion continues.
We also have the bearded one, I think, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey! Oh, I did hear that. I think we've got the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Hillis.
Friends.
Lily. And last but not least, trying to make this magic happen here on a Thursday, we got JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. I don't know what's going on with our video platform here this morning. Shout out to everybody joining us live, if it's even working. What's going on here, JD? It's just it's malfunctioning.
Apparently it is on YouTube. I can see
it.
So.
I was watching the intro on YouTube, but it wasn't playing for us, which is odd.
Oh, wow.
Very strange.
So. Very, very strange. That's okay. We'll power through this. And if you're listening to the podcast, it won't even matter. We'll clean it all up. Thank you so much to everybody who sent in questions over the last couple of days, over the last week. Keep them coming. Just because the NBA season is done doesn't mean that we will stop stepping on the beach. So email them in, your questions and your comments, to nodunks@theathletic.com, or you can tweet them in if you want at NoDunksInc. Tass, before we get to the first one, last week, I think it was last week's Beach Steppin' podcast, you might remember that Kate wrote in to ask us what No Dunks tattoo she should maybe get. She wanted to, she was a big fan of the show and wanted to, celebrate that in somehow by getting some ink. So she kicked around the idea of a turnip to represent the turn up, love you guys, awesome tag. Now I said, I liked it, throw a basketball jersey on it. So another No Dunks fan at Rima B is working, as you see right here, if this is working, if we're live for everybody on YouTube right now. Yeah, you got a little turn up with a little basketball jersey. This is just the start of it here. But I think there's something to this, Lily. I like this.
Yeah, that turnip looks a little chunky to me. I thought they were a little thinner, to be honest.
What?
How dare you say that?
Usually,
you shame turnips.
They're more like carrots, aren't they? In their sort of in their
Oh, it always comes back to uncooked carrots with this guy.
Yeah, but hey, listen, it's creative and it's unique, and certainly nothing like it out there on the market. So go for it.
Do you think if Kate got this, she would be the only person in the world to have a turnip wearing a basketball jersey as a piece of tattoo? Do you think that's right, Todd?
Sorry, did you ask me that question?
This hunk of shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think that turnip is a little too leafy. Let's cut down on the leaves up there, but it's pretty cool. I like the tail happening there under the jersey. It's neat. It's neat. It's very unique.
All right. Trey, anything to add to this?
Yeah, I just Googled turnips. I guess I'm not a turnip expert. I need to review exactly what they look like. Some of them do look like uncooked carrots. You're right, Lee. But in general, I'd say we've got a nice round bulbous bulb there.
Yeah.
So that looks 100% like a turnip. Come on, that's a turnip guarantee.
Yeah. Don't listen to Lee. Lee doesn't know what anything. You don't even know what a turnip looks like.
We'll just parsnip this out of the podcast. Don't worry. Let's go.
Cheers to that. All right, let's get to our first question.
It's about the Lakers. We got to talk LeBron, of course. Hey, guys, in light of the Lakers winning the title, a friend and I were debating whether Shaq or LeBron had the best career peak. LeBron's greatness has been sustained over such a long period of time, but it seems his peak has not been as high as some other great players. Interesting. What even was his peak? Asks Tim in Australia. I guess his back-to-back titles with the Heat, or maybe it's still coming. Interesting take. LeBron versus Shaq. Highest peak. What do you think, Skeets?
Well, hold on. You know when LeBron dropped the emphatic "I want my damn respect too" line after his 4th title and his 4th Finals MVP, as we just witnessed? He was directly squaring it at guys like Tim from Australia here. JD, I'm sorry, but I'm fired up here because of these malfunctions. Spell his fucking name right, people. It's starting to drive me fucking insane. It's a capital L, it's a small e, it's a capital B, then small RON. It is one of my biggest pet peeves. We get so many emails about LeBron, and I'm shocked by how many don't show him the damn respect that he deserves by spelling his name right to begin with. All right? Now, his peak doesn't seem as high as other great players. That's a little weird to me, and I get what he's saying because he's been so good for so long. It's like his peak isn't as prominent because it's his. He's like basically the Rocky Mountains because it's just that long. It's just a bunch of mountains, a bunch of peaks. I get that, but I think it's absolutely, Lee, tell me if I'm wrong, I think it's the 4 years in Miami. He went to 4 straight finals. He wins 2 chips. He wins 2 finals MVPs. He wins 2 regular season MVPs. And those final 2 years, I know he lost the last one, the title, but his efficiency is next level. We got all excited. He shot 59% in the finals. LeBron shot 57% basically over those 2 final years in Miami. And then one of them he shot 40% from 3. That was his peak in my opinion because he was the best paint scorer. And then he added a 3-point shot and he had a reliable jumper coming around to his game. And that's when he was truly at his most unstoppable. That doesn't mean he's not amazing still, but I do think Miami South Beach LeBron is his peak.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Those 4 years is when I felt that like the Heat were going to the finals no matter what because LeBron was there. Now they had Bosh and Wade as well, but that to me is kind of like now in these last few years, because he's been to 10 now in total. You know, you felt like his team was always a really good chance to go there, and they were probably going to get there. But those 4 years specifically in Miami, it was like nobody's really going to shake him from that spot. And that's when I compare that to Shaq from like 1999 to around 2004, where I felt the same, where it's like Shaq's walking to the finals here. No one's really going to beat him. So in that sort of window frame, those 4 or 5 years, that's when I think they were both at their peak. Mm-hmm. But I think, as you also point out there, if you look at LeBron, like Shaq had some massive years, and then it started to dwindle off a little bit. LeBron has basically been the same since 2004 here, really, throughout his entire career. Basically 27, 7, and 7. And you just sort of know that, like, if he's healthy, his team is likely no worse than second best in their conference. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I look at it. Like, I think overall, the consistency almost goes against LeBron in this case because it's like, how do you really separate these seasons? Because he's just been so consistent and so damn good. Whereas Shaq clearly had a period and a patch there where he was, without question, the most dominant player in the league. So, you know, as to answer this question, I think it's LeBron overall because of the longevity and the consistency. But I do think Shaq is a player who's actually kind of getting lost a little bit in the shuffle. I think people sort of are forgetting just how dominant he was there. Mm-hmm. You know, and that just sort of happens with time. Things just move on, and people as well, centers aren't sexy anymore. And so it was like, well, all Shaq did was dunk and he played with Kobe. But I sort of feel that Shaq is getting a little bit overlooked in the overall sense.
Yeah. I was listening to Jared Dudley on Simmons' podcast. They were already overlooking Tim Duncan. They're like, Anthony Davis might be better than Tim Duncan. I was like, whoa, okay, hold on. let's. I mean, Anthony Davis, we love him. He's going to be incredible. He might be the best player in the game in one of these years here coming up. But let's not throw shade at Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's elite just because it's maybe not as sexy, and because I think it goes with Shaq too, right, Lee? It's because they don't have a 3-point shot, right?
Right.
So it's a different time. They obviously didn't need one, weren't going to be adding one. Not that Shaq ever was, but probably Duncan could have. I mean, like, why not? He's
at a different time. At a different time, he would have. Yeah, but by the time it came around, he didn't need to. But
the Suns know he can hit a 3-pointer. He absolutely needs to.
Right. For sure.
The problem with LeBron is that he's had so many peaks. Like you guys are saying, athletically, the peak of his skills, it's probably in Miami, maybe 2013, I would guess, is the year because I was going back and watching all of these highlights of LeBron versus Jimmy Butler from back in the Bulls and Heat days. And, you know, LeBron is still great right now, obviously. Still one of the best in the league, if not the best player in the league. So you think, he's probably at the same level he was back then. But you go back and watch those clips, and it's like, how did he not score every time he had the ball? I know that passing is his greatest strength, but oh my goodness, dude, the athletic marvel of LeBron running the court. He just looks like a freak compared to everybody else out there. George Mikan is my Anthony Davis comparison, but this guy, it just looks like he's playing a completely different sport when he really puts his effort in and his full force of his body. You know, there was rumors at the time that he was listed at 275 at the end of his first Cleveland stint. He eventually got to 290, but he's still like the fastest, strongest guy on the court. It's absurd stuff. But then you talk about another peak for LeBron, 2016 Game 7. That's his peak of greatness, probably pulling off a 3-1 comeback against the 73-9 Warriors team. And then, like we're seeing now, we saw another title 8 years after his first one. It's like LeBron's peak. People on the stream team are saying LeBron's like a plateau because he reaches the peak and he stays there. But like you're saying, Skeeth, it's more like the Rockies. We got peaks everywhere. Peak,
it's all huge though. It's all mountains, man.
It's all huge though.
Yeah.
But when it really comes down to it, you know, we ask the question, is it Michael Jordan or LeBron? Who's the greatest of all time? It's not Michael Jordan, LeBron, or Shaq. Who's the greatest of all time? Shaq, despite the fact that he is the most dominant ever, everybody knows he played himself into shape during the seasons. You couldn't really give him the ball the last 2 minutes of the game because A, it's hard to get it to a big guy, and B, they're going to foul him. He's going to go to the line and brick away. If Shaq put the Jordan-like effort into every single possession, if he put the Kobe-like effort into every single possession, we would be talking about Shaq as the greatest player of all time.
That's probably fair. What do you think, Todd?
That's fair. Well, I think what Tim brings up is it's just an indicator that it's a more difficult conversation to discuss LeBron's peak and how great he is than it is to discuss Shaq's peak. Shaq's peak is very apparent.
Right.
It's that 3 in a row that he got with Kobe there. He was the best player. He led the league in scoring a couple times. That's Shaq. We know where his peak is, but it's an era here where it is basketball players have the most ridiculed. The most criticism is happening right now or the last few years. I mean, it's happened increasingly more since we've become all Twitter boys, and it's tough to get out of the moment. It's tough to kind of sit back and say, whoa. LeBron's been doing this for 17 years. It's just tougher to talk about unless you really want to talk about it. We've all sort of been in the tweets in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. And so there's just a lot of layers while you can just zip back and say, yeah, this was Shaq's peak. But longevity is a little less enthralling than a high peak. And I think the Tim Duncan point is a good one because to me, I think Tim Duncan had a better career than Kobe, just being great at the top of his game for a long, long time. But it's not as exciting because there aren't those peaks and valleys. There isn't, the peak for Kobe with Shaq and then the valley coming down solo and then going back up with Pau Gasol. And that's why there is merit to what the emailer is saying. It's just not as fun to look at it. And I think that's why Mark Jackson, broadcaster during the finals, said, LeBron is having the best career in NBA history. It's a cute way and so a way of skirting around the title of best player ever. It's giving him the kudos of saying, wow, you did it for a really, really long time. MJ had a higher peak. It's more enthralling to talk about a guy who was drafted by one team, doing it all there, and not having these different iterations. But yeah, it's simpler to say, guy went to 6 finals. He won 6 trophies. He's the greatest. He never lost. It's just tougher to talk about because there's so many layers. It's way too tough to talk about in 140 characters. It's a real long conversation. And especially all of us nerds having lived through every moment, it just wasn't ridiculed or criticized the same way, even during MJ's era, even during Shaq's era. It was just, it's different. It's different now. And it's not giving LeBron his due. It's totally true. He was totally right when he was there on the mic. It's a lot different.
Yeah. Best career, LeBron obviously would be near the top of it. I think Kareem would have to be in the running for that, especially if you're starting to count college and all that, which LeBron doesn't have that, of course, not playing college basketball. Yeah, but, there's something you said there, like the peaks and valleys is what makes it exciting. I 100% agree with that, Tass, in terms of these players and how we mythologize them, because think about it. Would you want to go on a roller coaster if it just went up and then just stayed perfectly flat? Wouldn't be the most exciting roller coaster in the world. I guess kids do it, right? That's sort of what their roller coaster rides are. But yeah, the ups and downs, that's the thrill. That's the fun. And that's what a guy especially like Kobe definitely has. And Shaq's is, Shaq's is just, it's elite. It's elite, his peak. But, then it was horrible. Let's be honest. Like Shaq, he flamed out, and a lot of it's his own doing because he probably didn't really care, and he was just still getting paid. So who cares really about that? So yeah, it's a fun question though, Tim. I'm sorry to get upset about the LeBron spelling, but that really does bug me. So please, guys, when you email in about LeBron, just throw the capital B there. That's the most minimal amount of respect I think you can add, right?
Put some respect on my name by capitalizing the third letter,
by actually spelling my name correctly. All right, great start though to this beach step. And next one. Hello, No Dunks crew. I'm a huge LeBron fan. Spelled correctly. Love it. And I felt nothing but happiness for him winning both his fourth championship and finals MVP. However, I can't help but be amazed by how Jimmy Butler put the Miami Heat on his shoulders throughout the finals and that he was in the conversation to be MVP. I remember back in the 2015 finals when LeBron carried the Cavs without Kevin Love and Kyrie to 2 wins against the Warriors. There was some serious talks about him deserving the finals MVP and he even got a couple votes. I think he got 4 votes. I thought he was going to be the second player ever to win it, despite losing the series. Shout out to Jerry West, who is the first and only one to ever do it, I think in the first year they ever gave finals MVP. Can you name other players in NBA finals history that warranted some MVP consideration, even though it came in a loss? That's from Adrian in the Philippines. This is a fun question. I've got an obvious answer here, Lee, and I think you're going to get us started. I'll be shocked if you don't go to it, but who do you got on your list?
Well, so I'm going to take out any 7-game series from this because if it goes to 7, pretty much someone from the opposition would have been close to winning it. So I tried to dig a little deeper to see, if there was a legit chance for someone in a 6-game series which they lost, could they have won finals MVP? And I actually found in 2011 it was Dwayne Wade for the Miami Heat.
Wow.
He was we like that series. Obviously, the Heat started that off really well. They were leading 2-1, and then they lose in 6. And looking back at it, LeBron James for that series averaged 18 points a game.
No, it was horrible. That's his low. That's his bad.
Yeah, he had that one.
People should bring that up more often. You never hear people talk about LeBron falling short in the 2011 finals. But did he have any games under 10 points? I don't seem to remember.
One game,
Who played him well? Sean Marion? Did he do all right on him?
But the thing is, Dwayne Wade in that series, 27 points a game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a half, a block and a half, and the games were close enough. That it was like, the Mavericks win that series, but ultimately Wade could have sort of done it. Dirk was incredible and he was going to win it if they won it, of course. But for the purposes of answering this question, I think Wade was probably pretty close to doing it under these criteria. Yeah.
Okay.
And then so digging back a little bit further, like Iverson in 01, he wasn't going to do it in a 5-game series. Barkley in 93.
Yes, that's who I thought you'd go with. Barkley had monster numbers in that.
He did. I think he was 27 and 14 in that series. But they lost all home games in that series. And they were down 0-2. So that's kind of, again, why I sort of took it out. The other guy I went back to 1986 was Akeem Olajuwon, who had a monster in the first elimination game in Game 5. He had 32 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 blocks as the Rockets extended the series to 6, and he was great. But, again, they're going up against that Celtics team. Ralph Sampson's also very good for the Rockets. So I think based on what I could sort of go through last night, again, eliminating all 7-game series, Wade was the closest he came to a 6-game series loss while to still potentially be MVP.
That's good. I think... Again, I thought you for sure were going to go with Barkley. I'm glad you brought him up. 27, 13, 5.5, 47% from the floor. He barely turned the ball over, and he played an average of 46.2 minutes per game in that finals against MJ's Bulls, of course. Mm-hmm. And that includes a stinker of a Game 1, mind you. Those numbers. He shot 9 of 25 in an 8-point loss in Game 1. So even obviously in the final 5 was even more lights out. Anyone to add there, Trey? The Wade's a good one, Lee. That's a great find there. I didn't think of that one.
The only problem with picking Dwayne Wade as a finals MVP is you can also hang that loss a lot on him celebrating in Game 2 up 15, and then they blow the lead because he's celebrating right next to the bench, flexing his muscles. But you nailed them all. Barkley in 93. It was the summer or, the season after the Dream Team where he had led Team USA in scoring at the 92 Olympics. He thinks he's better than Michael Jordan, but Michael's got more help. And then Jordan goes and just shows you what a finals performance is all about. That's some great stuff. That Game 5, what a great one to watch. But the other one you mentioned at Skeets, it's Iverson. You know, he's in the same sort of Jimmy Butler category where one guy has an incredible finals. He's able to steal a win. It was game one, a 48-point performance for Iverson, which kind of skews his numbers for the rest of the series, despite the fact that it was basically a blowout for the Lakers. On the other hand, there's that one guy that's super memorable. So those are the ones to me. 01 Iverson, 93 Barkley, and I guess obviously LeBron in 15. And now you got to add Jimmy Butler in 20. I love it.
Yeah. And the weight 11 is good. What, you got anything to add there, Tess?
Yeah, one that I found interesting was 2014. We witnessed the Spurs' revenge after losing in 2013 in the Ray Allen shot. And it was an absolute 5-game shellacking, many calling the Spurs play the most beautiful basketball they've ever seen. And that's very, very true. That being said, everybody was getting a taste in that series. Tony Parker led the Spurs with 18 points a game. Kawhi Leonard won the Finals MVP with about 18 as well. Tim Duncan and Manu, they were scoring double digits. While on the other side, I'd totally forgotten LeBron averaged 28, so 10 more points a game than Tony Parker did on 57% from the floor and 52% from three, 8 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals. So you can call him the best player in the series, obviously, in a very Spursy-like fashion. The Spurs won as the best team in that series.
Good stuff. Great question. I love that one. That's a fun one. We love digging up those numbers sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Good cue. Lee especially. It's like his catnip.
Jordan, that 93 series averaged like 41, 8, and 6 on 51%. I mean, just like he had the 55-point game. He had the 45-point game. I think he had, what did he have in the final? 43? Did he have that in game 6?
Yeah, 33. 33.
Oh, 33, that was all.
Yeah,
That's it?
Weak game.
Yeah. Garbage.
All right, next one here.
LeBron would have had 34. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Dear Keep Out of the Painters, I was listening to your outro music by Stereo Venus the other day, and it came to me that song was like Devin Booker. It's good now, but I won't be listening to it in 10 years. As with Booker, he's hyped at the moment, but no one will give a damn about Booker in 2030 and his empty calories, nearly making the playoffs, etc. Jeez.
What the fuck is going on here?
Did I write this?
Jesus.
If you could compare a current NBA player to a song, who would it be and what song? Peace out from London, England. That's from Michael McCarthy, not Michael McDonald. You won't remember Devin Booker anymore. Doesn't make the playoffs at all anymore. Michael McCarthy, you are savage.
Michael McCarthy, go fucking coach the Packers again. Jesus. What are you talking about, Devin Booker? Give him time, man. This is really weird that you just said Michael McDonald, Taz. Did you somehow get a look at my notes? Because that's my answer involves him. Because we're talking about songs, and if you could compare them to a current NBA player,
I hope I capitalize the D in McDonald, or you're going to be mad.
Well, I don't know. I did. You were reading my notes because you brought him up. One of the smoothest songs ever. You said it there. Michael McDonald's I Keep Forgetting. It ranks 3rd on the Gene Yatsky scale. Trailing only the Doobie Brothers, What a Fool Believes, and Kenny Loggins, Heart to Heart. Very smooth. JD, if you want to jump on, I am sure you would agree that Michael McDonald's I Keep Forgetting, one of the smoothest songs. I mean, Christopher Cross's Sailing, super smooth too.
Yeah.
Very, very smooth. Anyway,
Michael McDonald there as well.
Sorry, go ahead, JD.
Keep Forgetting is probably number one. It's got to be. I mean, I can't think of one that's smoother than that song.
I agree. 100% agree. Again, Gene Yatsky's got it high up there.
Also, hold on.
What?
We've been listening to that song for 5 years already, at least, I would say, Blossom's Dream. And we're going to use it until we're not allowed to use it anymore. So you're going to actually be listening to it for 10 years, probably. So I just wanted to say that.
And we'll be talking about Devin Booker for MVP in a couple of years too. So
that's
get ready
exactly
for that.
Right. Exactly.
So smoothest player of all time, because I know this is current NBA player. Smoothest player of all time, I think, is George Gervin. I think the Iceman might be the smoothest. Now, I think Dr. J probably is in the running as cool, smooth. Clyde Frazier, I'm sure too. These guys are a little ahead of our time, maybe not Lee's. But today player, who is the smoothest player in today's game? Because that is I keep forgetting Michael McDonald. KD is pretty damn smooth when you think about it, but people hate KD, so it's a little tough. Couple Canadians, Trey, we've talked about. Jamal Murray is pretty damn smooth, as is SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. We've talked about him before. Is there anyone else that's like super smooth game, either on or off the floor? I mean, best a combo is the best. Anyone come to mind?
Well, Paul George is pretty pretty smooth when he's got it going.
Yeah, Paul George has done him no favor. Has done himself no favors going a little bit, but he's smooth. You're right.
He's
On the floor,
silky. Yeah, he's silky. He glides around.
not off the floor.
No,
Not that smooth on social media or on the mic, maybe, but yeah, on the floor. Okay.
Clyde the Glide Drexler, I guess, would get a vote just because of his nickname.
Sure.
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. Who do you got, Trey?
Sam Perkins, big smooth.
Oh, big smooth. Yeah, see, I mean, it's easier to do with guys that are out of the league for sure. Yeah, big smooth. Sam Perkins, that is a good one. But anyway, somebody's Michael McDonald's. I keep forgetting. I guess just because I won't go KD and I won't go, I won't go Paul George. Those guys are stars. Give me Jamal Murray is smooth. He's pretty smooth, and especially his layup package and stuff like that. So, Kyrie's got a crazy one too, but I'll go Jamal Murray as Michael McDonald's. I keep forgetting. Unbelievable you were doing that, Cass. I can't believe that. It blew my mind.
Well, I threw some players in too. I mean, it's hard not to think of Jimmy Butler and think of a workman-like song, but I went with Rihanna and Drake's "Work, Work, 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 Work." Or "Eye of the Tiger." I think would fit Jimmy Butler pretty well. He could pull it off, and especially with that Michelob Ultra commercial where he's dancing around in the cowboy boots. It just feels Jimmy's very musical, and he listened to so much country music in college. Apparently, I think we forget Steph Curry was, he was the golden boy. He was the smiley boy. I think it's sort of gone from his lore now. Maybe because he's lost a little, maybe because he's injured, maybe because the Warriors have become the villain a little bit. But I think when I look back on him, I want him to embody Pharrell's "I'm Happy." That's how I want to remember him. I want to see him dance into that song. It just makes sense. And I'll just throw my last one in here. Victor Oladipo hasn't looked like himself in a while, but he wants prospective teams to find him attractive, right? Because there's some rumors that he's going to leave Indiana. So he wants to look like he used to. So I think "Don't You Want Me, Baby" could be Victor Oladipo's song. "Don't you want me?" Oh, that's a little before my era.
Chaz wants to do a karaoke podcast.
Sure. I definitely Googled that. Best karaoke songs, to really resonate with everybody. You remember
did he sing that on The Masked Singer at all? I wonder. Yeah.
His feathery voice. What did he sing?
Oh,
he sang
no
some,
clue. I know he was the monster, the whatchama thing or whatever the heck they were calling it. I don't even know if that's what they were calling. I can picture it. Who sang that song? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask that to the because I had no idea. JD, you gotta come in here and pinch it. Don't you want me, baby?
You want me, baby? Depeche Mode.
Sounds like Depeche Mode.
Human League. It's
Human League.
Nice.
It's a good duet as well for karaoke. It's great.
Okay, so he can sing that with Jimmy Butler when he teams up with him in Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you got, Trey?
I think Dwight Howard is that new song from Vin Diesel, "Feel Like I Do," because at their ages, you're not expecting to get something completely new from these guys. Like Dwight Howard, for a decade, basically everybody was saying, all you need to do is rebound, block shots, and roll to the rim. He wouldn't do it. He finally gets to the Lakers. He remakes his game. He comes up with the idea to sign a non-guaranteed contract, and suddenly Dwight Howard is beloved around the league until we get to the playoffs again, and he just seems a little bit like a crazy guy smashing his body into people and, just the general Paul Georginess of his off-court shenanigans as well. And in a similar vein, Vin Diesel, nobody expected him to drop a Justin Bieber song that actually bangs, but he did it. It's like listening to an incredible dance song, and Vin Diesel's just mumbling over the top of it.
Vin Diesel's 53. When you said you don't expect anything from him, I thought, he's got to be in his 40s. He's like young 40s, sort of like Dwight maybe, because he's ageless. But man, he's old.
Yeah, you got to shave your head early, and people will never know how old you are. He hasn't had hair on his face or on his head for like 15 years.
That's a good point. His music name should be Vin Electric. Lee, do you got an answer?
Yeah, I saw on I think it was House of Highlights or somewhere actually a week or so ago, like a Russell Westbrook dunk package.
Yeah.
And I thought the best song to put with that would be LL Cool J's "Mama Said Knock You Out," because you think of every sort of time he smashes it down, he's angry, and you just think, "I'm gonna knock you out!" Bang! Right as he throws down the dunk, and you listen to the lyrics in that song as well. don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, because Russell doesn't want anyone to be like, he's moved on to the second stage of his career, down there in Houston, and listen to the bass go boom, explosions, overpowering, over the competition, I'm towering. Like the whole song is just like I can see an angry Russell dunking, snarly face, looking into the camera. I think it'd be a perfect compilation, a perfect mix of Russell's biggest dunks and his angry face with those lyrics.
Someone's working on that as we speak right now. I guarantee you, Lee, you're going to see that YouTube highlight package there, Westbrook set to that song. Good one. Good answers, guys. Let's take a quick break. We got lots more, though, still to get to. All right, our next email, Dearest No Dunks. On a recent podcast, you discussed the notion of smoking a cigar in the delivery room during the birth of your child. This reminded me of my friend's wife's Instagram post where she wished him a happy birthday and said, quote, "He is basically the perfect guy, except for that time he brought a curry into the delivery room during the birth of our child." Since then, I haven't stopped giggling to myself at the image of this guy chowing down a pungent curry while his wife and several nurses painfully work around him bringing a child into the world. My question is, when have you ever done something seemingly innocuous that you later realized was inappropriate because of where or with whom you did it? Turner's Cup, Horford's Eyes, Diaz's Son. Cheers. That's from Ben in Sydney, Australia. Funny story there. Curry in the delivery room. That would be quite the smell, though. It's a delicious smell at the end. Better than a cigar smell, that's for sure. That'd make you gag. But what do you got, Trey, for this?
Well, first of all, great comment from Jared on YouTube, who says this happened after the delivery, not during, right? Somebody just hacking a cigar during delivery, like a couple of more pushes. Probably a little bit dangerous, but let's stay in the world of labor and delivery. After my second daughter was born, Ada, my wife Laura, asked me to go get her something to eat. So I went across the street to get Jimmy John's. You got to cut out cold cuts for a while due to some bacteria. That can be a problem for a pregnant woman. Nonetheless, I went and got her Jimmy John's. She loves a turkey sub. I brought it back. And unfortunately, Pokemon Go was very, very much the wave at that point. And I'm hunting for Pokemon on my way back and forth from Jimmy John's. And then I noticed, Laura, there's a wild Zubats sitting on your bed right now. I gotta capture this. Hold it up to her. I capture my little Zubats, throw it in my Pokemon Go container. And then, 4 years later, I'm looking back. Oh, man, Ada was born. This was incredible. Flip through. Oh, what an incredible moment. Oh, this is so beautiful. Wait, a Zubat. Hey, there's a Zubats there. Oh, right. Pokemon Go. Do I still have this app on my phone? Nope. I never even had a battle with anybody. I just had like a huge collection of like the worst Pokemon around. But
wild Zubats did appear in my wife's vagina while she was giving birth. And I had to catch it.
It was on her shoulder, Skeets. But sorry, not many people know Ada's middle name is Zubats. Ada Zubats Kirby.
Oh, wow.
Vita Zubats.
Yeah.
What did you catch when we were live in Summer League in Vegas and Pokemon Go was all the rage, like you said? And then there was one like on our set. We were freaking out.
Yeah, maybe it was a Charmander. Maybe it was a Charizard or a Squirtle. Who knows at this point? I haven't played Pokemon since the summer of 2016, but apparently every opportunity I had, I was taking it, whether it be on a show or when my child was born.
That was a weird, I don't know if it was summer or fall or whatever. I guess it was summer, fall. I remember going for runs in the park and there'd be like 100 people like by one tree, like all on their phones. Like, cause I guess that was a hot area to catch them all or something. I don't know.
It was still like the first time they had a cool app for augmented virtual reality or something. And it worked okay, but it still doesn't work perfectly. Yeah. And nobody's come out with something cool since then. It is a cool product to be able to go and like play a game out in the wild.
Yeah.
But maybe not 12 hours after your child is born.
No. Okay, that's a great answer. Can anyone beat that? I'll set this one out. Lee,
well, let me piggyback on that one because I do want to talk about Laura giving birth as well. Trey and Laura had their first child back in 2014, and on the starters, I believe it was, I think it was May or June. So Laura was 4 or 5 months pregnant, I think. I announced on TV that Trey and Laura were expecting their first child. Now, I thought it was innocuous because we actually just had our friends in town. A couple of our friends, Lisa and Daryl, and Laura, or Lisa said to Laura, well, I'm going to go back and tell everybody at home. And Laura said, yeah, go tell everybody. So I thought it was cool to just tell everybody. So I went on television and said, hey, they're expecting. And then Trey, after the TV show, Trey told me, we hadn't told a lot of people. So,
Whoops.
Yeah, whoops. I'm just
That was
gonna bury
awesome. But yeah, you're right. Like everybody knew here in Atlanta, basically, because like you're saying, people had visited. We saw our friends, and they're gonna know that my wife's pregnant. But we're also waiting for like friends and family to come and visit so we could surprise them. But no, I don't know. I love it. I like the way it happened. I thought it was hilarious. We got to put that clip up on our YouTube or on our Twitter. Sorry, it's TBT today. We'll throw it up there.
Wow, yeah. Good call. Good call. Nice. Lee, you got an answer for this?
Well, I'm going to keep mine in the hospital and in the delivery area too, because just after our first son was born, we were in Canada, and it was we had to share a room with somebody. It was partitioned off. And so my wife, Roxana, she had a cesarean too. So there's a little bit more of a recovery time there. And she wasn't feeling great, a bit nauseous, understandably. So I was trying to be the good husband and father and trying to do everything I could to keep her comfortable and take the baby when I could and all those sorts of things. Mm-hmm. And the person on the other side of the room, their dickhead father came in, not with a curry, with a big stinky Chinese meal, and sat down and stunk out the entire room. My wife was nauseous. I went and spoke to the doctors or the nurses. I said, my wife's feeling sick. This idiot in here is just eating his Chinese food and it stinks. And so they talked to him. He kind of was like, oh, okay, well, I've finished now anyway. Then
one more bite.
There's a toilet in there. There's a toilet and a bathroom that is explicitly for the mothers only. Explicitly. Yeah. Where does old dickhead go after he finishes Chinese? Straight into there. And I was in this beautiful moment. We've just become parents, my wife and I, and I'm trying to be there. And I nearly was also arrested for murder within 24 hours of the first child being born, because this scumbag, trash, selfish prick just didn't care about anybody else in the world. Wow. And my emotions that day were just all over the place, because I've never been trying to be like so focused and giving my attention to my wife and our child at the time, while also like, I wonder if I could just stab this guy to death and no one would actually even know.
It would smell better than that food, huh?
Yeah.
Universal healthcare, am I right?
Yeah, right. What if you had walked in though and he was taking a leapy? Then you'd have to be like, hey, respect.
Nah, it would have been easy to stab him in the head.
With the plastic fork that he probably had from his Chinese.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God, he was the most selfish prick I've ever met in my entire life.
Wow, delivery rooms sound awesome. There's wild Zubots everywhere, and people eating everywhere and dumping everywhere.
Yeah.
Sounds crazy. All right. Great.
Okay, next one here. Hey guys. Tour talk about the Adam Sandler cinematic universe had me thinking about what NBA players have parallels with famous actors. Right away, my mind jumped to Adam Sandler, and I think the perfect NBA parallel is Dwight Howard. Let me explain. Both guys who want to make people laugh. Both guys who definitely love a good fart. Both reached their heights in the early days of their career. Sandler with Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. Dwight with The Magic. Then put out a run of stinkers. Sandler with Jack and Jill and The Ridiculous Six. Dwight with the Hawks, Hornets, Wizards. Before finding a redemptive arc in 2019. Sandler with Uncut Gems. Dwight with LeBron's Lakers.
Wow.
My question. Which other NBA players remind you of famous actors? Turnip, love you guys. Awesome. That's from Martin in Victoria, BC.
Great comparison there. Dwight Howard is the Adam Sandler. Love that. I'll throw this question into another question for you guys, because we were talking about LeBron's sustained success and longevity, and just like how the peak just sort of, I guess, did plateau, just remained a giant mountain. Would you say LeBron Lee is more of a Denzel Washington or a Tom Hanks?
Well, I mean,
I broke him. I broke him.
It's funny because one of my favorite movies of all time is Philadelphia, which stars Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks. And you know what? I'm gonna say LeBron is Denzel because Tom Hanks was brilliant in his role in that movie. But I thought Denzel, as the lawyer who really grows to learn more about himself in that movie, I think is more like LeBron. Oh my God, that's a tough question because
I guess here's maybe a good way to look at it. Who has, of their two careers, acting careers, JD, if you want to jump into, of Denzel and Tom Hanks, who has the worst movies of the bunch? Like we all know they have a lot of incredible performances and incredible movies, but who has the worst movies of those two guys? Because they would then, in my opinion, not be the LeBron, as we talked about. LeBron, I guess, the 2011 finals, that is a low point. So that's I don't know. That's what I can't even think of a crappy movie from these guys. I know they exist, but
The Terminal. I don't know. Do people like The Terminal?
I watched The Terminal. I guess it was pretty bad.
Forrest Gump is a controversial one too because
but it's.
I don't think it's a great movie. A lot of people think
it's overrated for sure.
Yeah,
it is, but it still was obviously a blockbuster.
Yes. I think it won Best Picture that year, didn't it, JD? Over Shawshank Redemption, which is that's like LeBron not winning MVP that season.
It's like Derrick Rose being Shawshank. I know LeBron Shawshank and Derrick Rose is Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. He couldn't run for a while.
Yeah.
JD, do you have a thought on that though? LeBron, is he Tom Hanks or Denzel Washington?
I want to say, I guess it's Denzel.
Is this the most difficult question ever asked on
This is hard. This is really hard. Well, Hanks has 2 Oscars, right?
Okay.
Denzel has 1.
Right. Good point.
Right.
Good.
So,
what did Hanks win his 2 for?
Saving Private Ryan? Did he get one for that?
Yeah, probably.
I think that and Forrest Gump. Or no, Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, right. And so Denzel got his for Training Day, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that, but okay. All right, so you don't know. You're going Hanks, I guess. You're leaning towards because of the 2.
I'm leaning towards Hanks, but I'm looking at Denzel's catalog here.
Yeah.
Like they have Rolling Stone has Philadelphia as his 17th best movie. I mean,
whoa.
Above that is Courage Under Fire, Devil in a Blue Dress, He Got Game, Out of Time. I mean, I don't know. I think it's Denzel.
Wow.
Glory, Cry Freedom.
Interesting.
Ooh, Crimson Tide #7. I don't know about that. Inside Man. This ain't no bank robbery.
I think you're right. Now that I'm starting to think about it, I think Tom has some stinkers out there. He's got some stinkers.
Yeah, you got
he's
the money
eating some Chinese food. He's eating some Chinese food in a delivery room, and he's dropped some stinkers in a washing machine.
Yeah, you've got mail. Throw that one out because he already
the whole Nora Ephron you can throw out. I mean, they're fine, but in terms of like you wouldn't Denzel Washington would not be in a Nora Ephron movie, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
It wouldn't happen.
Okay.
So yeah, it's Denzel.
Wow.
I'm glad we did this.
People in the YouTube chat are saying, this is from Ross, who says, if anything, LeBron is the Meryl Streep of the NBA.
Oh, hey,
always great, tons of accolades, no end in sight for their greatness. But I got LeBron as another Tom. I think he's Tom Cruise. A long, sustained period of success. He's had franchises. Tom Cruise has, where he's had massive success. With Mission Impossible, he's had a bunch of bangers there. He's been doing it for 20 years, just like LeBron has. And when LeBron is on a team, no matter what team it is, it's going to look like a LeBron team. We're going to see pick and roll all the time. We're going to see shooters outside. When you watch a Tom Cruise movie, it doesn't matter if he's playing Jack Reacher, the guy from Minority Report, or something else. Guaranteed, you're going to see Tom Cruise running. You're going to see Tom Cruise jumping on stuff. You're going to see him doing things he should not be doing, but they're going to be in every single movie. It doesn't matter what it is. A LeBron team looks the same. A Tom Cruise movie looks the same. And here's my point to drive it home. Both of these guys are doing things at their age that they should not be doing. LeBron shouldn't lead the league in assists at 35 years old for the first time in his career. Tom Cruise is nearly 60 years old. He's riding around on the top of trains, waving to people. You're almost a senior citizen, man. Take it easy. Take it easy, Tom.
Now that's interesting. Wow. Just to roll with that. That means LeBron will truly never be the GOAT then, because no one is ever saying Tom Cruise is the greatest actor of all time, right? But I love your comparison. You really broke it down there. You got me thinking maybe it is Tom Cruise. Wow, Denzel, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks or Meryl Streep is a good call too.
Great.
I like that one.
There it is. Great poll.
Great poll. Yeah. And we're calling the podcast this too. Anything to add to that, Tass? I mean, or you want to talk some movies from any of those 4 actors?
No, I think we covered it.
Okay. Let's take one more quick break, but we still have a couple of great questions to get to. All right, next one. Hey, Dunkachinos. I live in Illinois in Chicagoland. What does that mean, Trey? Chicagoland, an actual place? That can't be. Does it just mean Chicago?
He's in the burbs.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I often drive on 88 and pass Downers Grove near Lombard and Trey's dumb house, and I see the home and garden business called Wanamakers. I've done this for years, but ever since the Raptors and Celtics series, I have the urge to stop there, go inside, and yell, "Skeets wants you to fuck off!" Brad Wanamaker was killing the Raptors there for a couple of games. Is there anything that you used to pass without a thought that changed because of something random like Skeets hating a guy for making threes against his team? Great job this season. Thanks for everything you've done. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome. That is all from a longtime fan of the show, Brent Ferrari. Vroom, vroom, driving on 88 in his Ferrari. What do you got, Trey? What do you got for this?
Well, over the summer, everybody knows I got back into fishing after I saw Ben Simmons catch a fish down in the bubble, try to throw it back into the pond, and it just smacked on the dock and then finally fell in. I happened to be back in Illinois, back in Chicagoland, driving on 88. So I decided, yeah, I'll get back into fishing. But eventually we had to drive back from Chicagoland to Atlanta. And now every single body of water I pass, I just say to Laura, there's bass in there. There's bass in there for sure. I see it on a TV show. You know, they show like an overhead drone shot in Ozark, and they're seeing Lake Allatoona here in Atlanta. You're like, oh, there's bass in there. I'm seeing people's Instagram pictures. Blake Murphy had a great one not too long ago. Just a gorgeous lake. So I hit him with there's bass in there. Wow. I was driving out to Serenbe yesterday. I was getting ready to rip some lips, and every time I would pass a lake, there's some bass in there. Do a quick little screenshot of my map so maybe I can come back later and get some of those beautiful bass. They're everywhere, guys. They're just waiting for us to catch them.
Is that actually true? Is there bass in every lake, or is that just
only one way to find out?
Bass or brim. Bass or brim. That's what it's going to be.
Bass or brim. What you got?
Yeah.
All right. I love it. Tass, you got one for this?
Great comment from Sarah Gray. There's bass in them lakes. There's gold in them hills. Classic. For me, growing up in Southern Ontario, as soon as I hit 19 years of age and were legal to gamble in the province of Ontario, I went to Brantford, Ontario to go to the casino there. It's a pretty quick ride. Small town of Brantford, Ontario. It's about 100,000 people, but feels like small town Ontario. And whenever I saw the sign, Brantford, Ontario, it lists it right there, home of Wayne Gretzky. That's where Wayne Gretzky is from, Wayne and Walter. So that's what I would always think of when I went and won millions and millions of dollars. That's why I'm rich.
Who'd you go to? That's why you got all that acreage. Yeah, you won all your money in Brantford. I'm playing cards with Amin and the boys. Brantford. I always forget about Brantford because it sounds like Stratford always to me. But it's a bigger Stratford. And you got Wayne Gretzky. What do you got, Lee?
Well, it's funnily enough from the question here talking about you and your how much you despise Mike Bibby. I've seen him twice.
Mike Bibby. Okay, yeah. Now we're talking about Bibby. Yeah, okay.
At Summer League. And when I've seen him, I want to go to him and say, hey, Skeets wants you to fuck off. Can I have a selfie too? Right. So that's basically how I feel about him now. I don't have a problem with Mike Bibby. But I just want to say that to him. So, hey.
If you ever see him, you should get a video of him telling me to F up.
Oh, yeah.
That would be,
I will. Yeah.
Instagram gold for you, man.
Hey,
gold
fuck
them
you,
deals.
Yeah, that'd be great.
He might do it. You never know. All right, let's get to a couple more questions here before we wrap this up.
Hey, no bouncers. Moving past the finals and the return of the crown to its rightful owner, I started looking at this year's free agent pool. I think by far the most interesting unrestricted free agent is forward center Davis Bertans, currently on the Wizards. I cannot for the life of me see a reason for him to stay in DC. My question to you, where should he go and why? He's not an all-star, but I think he really will have his pick of the litter since he's a 6'10 flamethrower. Personally, I'd love to see him on any of the California teams except for Sacramento. Hey, no mention of Flames in California, all right? Caruso's up, Browse down, King's Crown. That's from Alec. Alec with the email. Davis Bertans, UFA. Now, did you guys see the Rajon Rondo news? He's opting out, $2.6 million option for next year. No way, I'm going to go get those bucks. So maybe the rightful owner won't have the title next year because like Rondo's leaving the Lakers, just like Dwayne Wade said. Rondo was the difference in that series. So the rumors are already starting for what's likely to be free agency starting around December 1st is the date. But let's talk Davis Bertans. He has become sexy, even though he kind of did it under the radar.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he had an awesome year. I mean, it was with Washington, and they didn't play like a defense, and he scored a bunch of points. But he averaged 15 points per game, and he shot over 42% from three on 8.7 attempts. Basketball Reference says he's only the second player in NBA history to shoot over 40% from three on over 8.5 attempts per game. And the other guy, of course, is Steph Curry. So that is pretty amazing. It's like a lot of threes at an incredible consistency. And he was doing this with like, not John Wall, who is coming back, but like his point guards were like Shabazz Napier and Ish Smith and like, I guess Bradley Beal sort of playing de facto point guard. So it's pretty impressive. But I got bad news, Alec. He ain't going anywhere. He's not, I don't think he's going anywhere because he's an unrestricted free agent. So they own his bird rights, meaning they can go over the salary cap to re-sign him. And I think they will. He didn't play, of course, in the bubble because they're like, let's not risk anything. And we're not making it anyway. We're 5.5 games back from even trying to get into a playing game into the Mega Bowl. He's 28 years old, Tass. He's looking for his first payday. He's going to get it, I think, of course, with Washington because they can give him more than anyone else. Now, I'm not saying they should go overboard, but I think he easily gets a 3-year, $45 million deal. I think that might be on the low end, actually, like maybe $350. Something like that. So making, of course, somewhere between 15 to 18 million a year, I think is fair for a guy like this. I think so. Being like he said, a 6'10" flamethrower, every team could use him is the point. So Washington with ideas that they'd like to probably get back into the playoffs if they have Wall healthy and they have Beal healthy, and then you have a guy like this and you got Rui and stuff like that, draft picks. So he ain't going anywhere is my guess. I don't know if anyone disagrees here on the call.
I'm with you. I think he should stick with Washington as well. Like you're saying, he had a great season last year playing with Beal as the only other sort of NBA level creator. John Wall is one of the best in the league. At least he was. It's been forever, it feels like, since we've actually seen John Wall play. But back when he was balling, he was one of the best in the league at getting wide open corner threes. So, yeah, maybe sign a short deal with Washington and just feast on those catch and shoot threes. Get another big deal. I mean, he's still young enough. Right now, he's still 20. He'll be 28 by the time the next season starts. Yeah. So you'll probably be able to get another deal. It's not like you're going to get shorter or worse at shooting. Tall guys who can shoot are going to continue to get paid in this league. So take a short one, enjoy it, get the wide open threes, knock them down, score a bunch of points. Don't play any defense, live the life, and then do not go sign with a California team. And if you do, make it the Kings. The Clippers don't need more people. The Lakers don't need more people. The Warriors don't need more people. We need good players on every team in the league, not just the contenders.
Yeah, that's why I say do not sign in the West. Forget it. Forget the Western Conference. If you're going to go to a team that's a great team that has the potential to be a championship in the Eastern Conference. We don't need more teams in the West. The top 3 favorites right now, according to the odds, all live in the Western Conference. No, thank you. We want the finals to be somewhat juicy, but I don't think Bertans takes a good team and makes them a championship team. That's why I kind of don't want him to stay with the Wizards. I'd rather see him make a difference on a team that's at the top of the East, and I think it could be the Milwaukee Bucks because they're desperate for shooting around Giannis to just stand there and get ready to fire. The Miami Heat kind of makes sense. They were close, obviously. But they're such a movement team. I don't know if Bertans really fits the bill there. Just stand there and chuck, but don't. Yeah, just get out of Washington. Just get out of there. I understand he might make more money there, but get out of there. It is weird.
No way. His agent is saying, dude, you made what's the most he's made in a year? He's probably $7 million. I think was the deal.
I think his last
with the
one
Spurs.
was
214. Yeah. He's going to get a.
What's weird is that the Spurs. What's weird, the Spurs let him go. It's the strange. Spurs never make mistakes, but they traded him away to get Damari Carroll. That's weird.
Yeah, is he
Very
Ryan Anderson 2.0? Yeah, sure, man.
yeah.
Get paid, get
Yeah.
it. He's going to sign a big deal, I think, with Washington. A big deal for him, at least. Yeah.
That's all I would add is just buyer beware, because he did put up these numbers on a team that just literally, I mean, they were just doing nothing this season at all, Washington. It was just like anyone can score. Who cares about defense? If you can shoot, you can put up 15 points a game and get yourself paid. So good on Bertans for that. But I also agree, like with Tass, like, he sort of doesn't move the needle for any of those teams right now. It's kind of like, oh, he'd be nice to have on the floor for the Bucks. It'd be nice to have for Jimmy Butler to throw the ball out. But then you just look at the defensive end and just think like, he's just, whatever he gives you offensively, he doesn't give any resistance on the defensive end. But who cares? He's got the stats. He had a season that you can basically, as an agent, promote to people, say, look what this guy can do when he's given the opportunity. But just be a little bit careful, because I'm not sure there's anything he really does outside of hit those 3-pointers.
I think you're discrediting him a little bit. I get what it was a weird season for sure in Washington, but guy, that is incredible. Those numbers at that attempts.
Again, but what else is there to, if he's not doing that? There's nothing really else in his game that I saw anyway.
Isn't that important though?
Yeah,
shooting threes.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's fine when he's hot, it's great, but again, we always talk about guys like Gallinari who can be really good, but then he doesn't play any defense either. So it's you're sort of giving with one hand, taking with the other. But in the right circumstances, if he comes off the bench and he hits 5 or 6 threes a game, great. But if he's not doing that, he's basically kind of worthless out there on the court.
Well, you can't fawn over Duncan Robinson on one hand and then think Bertans is completely overrated on the other. I mean, there's similar players. There's value to them.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's completely overrated. I'm just saying these weird numbers on a team that was just one of the worst teams that we saw this season. Kind of, they're blown up a little bit more. But again, I'm not sure. He's a bit of a weird fit for a lot of teams, I think. But listen, if he gets paid and he finds that right role, he can contribute if threes is what they need, because that's what he does, and he is not afraid to shoot them.
No, he'll shoot them like 3 feet behind the line.
He'll shoot them from anywhere. Yeah.
So. All right. So I think he stays. Sounds like a lot of us think he stays, and like I agree with Tass. I don't know if he moves the needle. Like, wow, that suddenly makes Team X a championship team. But I also think he's the type of player that could play on a lot of teams, because he's obviously just a big that can shoot the ball and shoot a lot of it and hit it with some consistency. If that wasn't an aberration, which I don't think it is. I think he's that good of a shooter. All right, final one here as we hit close to the hour mark. Hi, No Dunks. I'm typing this to you with the imminent LeBron-led Lakers championship on the horizon to culminate a year of your podcast that we all treasure. I'd like to ask this to all of you, especially JD. What was your favorite podcast episode this season? Mine's The Squad Build Your Own Franchise show. That was a fun one. Thanks for the entertainment and making me feel like you guys are old buddies of mine. Turnip, love you guys. Awesome. That's from Andrew, who is also from the Philippines. Australia and the Philippines always coming through with the beach stepping questions. Love you guys so much. All right, JD, why don't you get us started here? Favorite show from this, what was it? This is our 337th show, so call it 336 or 335. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of runners up. I hated doing the East-West recaps, but I was very pleased with how they turned out. I mean, that was an ordeal for everybody, but
especially
once they
and Trey.
But once they came out, they turned out great, and people seemed to like them. My top 3 guests at number 3, Dave Schilling was great. We did the Will Ferrell movie, and he was awesome. All of the guests we had for the whole year have been really surprisingly great. Like, there wasn't a single dud among them. Shout out to Matt Katz. Number 2 is Amir Blumenfeld. He's a funny guy. I'm a fan, so I was excited to have him in the studio. And of course, number 1 was Wendell Holland. Sure. Millionaire furniture maker Wendell Holland. But the best show of the year for me, I think, and I had very little to do with it, that's probably why I loved it so much, was live at Shuba's. I mean, I don't get to do them as much as you guys do, the live shows. So, and when I do, it's a fucking complete, utter clusterfuck in terms of technical problems. Like the Charlotte one we did was an awesome time, but it was a terrible show. The whole thing was a complete mess. So, but Shuba's was great. That was a show that was planned. meticulously, and then it went off without a hitch, I thought. So I was happy with that one. And afterwards, I got to hang out with Brent Ferrari, vroom vroom. So very, very pleased about that. So
Yeah.
those are my highlights of the year.
Yeah, live shows go. We said it was our best live show ever. I don't think that was hyperbole. I think that's very true. Okay.
That was my answer too. And I thought, I wonder if I'll be able to get away with this saying it's a podcast.
Yeah, it's a bit of it's cheating a little bit for sure.
But definitely that was like the most fun I think we've ever had. Great crowd, great atmosphere, and it did, like JD said, everything just seemed to work. So that was the most fun. Will we ever do another one? That's the real question.
One of these days.
We can do it with no fans.
We do one every day, really, aren't we? Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah. So that was my answer too.
Okay, what do you got, Tass?
Well, I'm with JD in that our guests were phenomenal. I enjoyed Shea Serrano crushing some Spurs trivia.
Oh, he was great. That was funny.
He kicked ass. I enjoyed talking to Rex Chapman. He was as furious as Skeets was on this podcast here. He talked about his white privilege and opioid addiction. That was great. We did a little trade deadline court where we had one guy defend or pitch what a team should do at the trade deadline, and then the other guy would argue, and then we had a judge decide who was right. That was fun. I like the People's Court. I like old things. And there was one other I didn't list down. I just deleted it. Nuts. It was another guest. It was probably Amir Blumenfeld. He was gold. Matt Katz, a.k.a. Fred Katz, also was great. Everybody we had a Dave DeFore. We had an Eric Kareen. We had everybody come through the office. Yeah, John Hollinger in there. It was a lot of fun.
What do you got, Trey?
I would add another guest appearance, Zach Harper talking Space Jam. You know, people have wanted to hear Zach's thoughts on Space Jam and our thoughts on Space Jam for like 25 years. So to finally bring them together, it was a banger episode. People in the chat are also saying the Air Bud film session.
Oh, yeah.
The classic.
That was a good one.
What a dumb movie that is.
Yeah. I think about it a lot. I think about the court that we talked about, like, was right on the water, but all that stuff was in the way. I think about it a lot. I don't know why.
Yeah, that. And I mean, it also gave us the classic moment of there's nothing in the rule book that says a dog can't play basketball, which since then has kind of gone on to refer about anything regarding a rule we have no idea about. You can use it anytime you want to. So, you know, to finally do a Space Jam podcast, to finally do an Air Bud podcast, and like JD, we finally, for years and years, after years and years, we finally started a Survivor podcast because we had to. And it was great. We had a great time. It was fun getting Tass and Lee into the show. We'll see if it sticks whenever they come back with Survivor. But it was a great time doing No Buffs.
Yes. Are they filming something now?
No, they are not. I was going to say, we actually start doing a Survivor podcast and then it goes away.
Yeah.
Maybe forever. No, hopefully not forever. No, they're not. Big Brother, though, did happen, though. Lee, you can watch Big Brother right now if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. They're at day 7. They're at day 70 or 71.
Oh, baby.
One of our fans is actually on the Great British Bake Off.
What?
His name is Peter, the young guy.
Oh, I got to talk to Nora. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on a lot, so I sort of know who's who, but I don't really.
And his brother reached out to me on Instagram and just said, "Hey, he's going to be on." And he apparently his brother, they sent us a photo of a cake, a starter's cake that went on the show. Yeah. So now he's on Great British Bake Off. He's killing it. And
Baker week 1. Are you kidding me?
What do you mean the starter's cake made it on the show? Why is no one
not on the show? He's a fan of the starters. He sent in took a picture. His brother made a starter's cake, sent it in. We put it on the show. Anyway.
We put it on the starters.
We put it on the starters. So he was like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember. I didn't, to be honest." And he made a cake and we put it on the show. Anyways, Peter is his name, and he's on the Great British Bake Off. And they did an NBA style bubble to do the show. So all those guys are in a bubble, and it's working. And what a goddamn delight that show is, honestly. It's so I've never watched it before, but
you had it.
I've never seen it, and it's just
it is
like filling a void.
Like, what's it on? It's like how many seasons they've done of that? They've done
it's the 8th season. It's the 8th season. And it's just British reality shows are just the best. Like there's no There's no mention of the prize. There is no prize. There's no prize. Like you don't get anything except
They're
for.
so nice to each other.
I know,
That's like an amazing thing. We watch an American reality show, and like the point is to not make friends. And by the end of one British reality show, they're all hugging. It's great.
Yeah. And it's actually better because it makes you root for them like more. You cheer them on more because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy. I told you guys there's a Netflix category called gentle British reality or something like that. It's something like that. So
it's my new jam right there.
All right, Peter's our guy. Can he make jam too? Yeah. All right. Okay, go Peter. Let's call it there, guys. Great batch of emails. Keep them coming. Keep your questions coming for next beach stepping. Email them in nodunks@theathletic.com or tweet them in @nodunksink. We're gonna be back next week. No show on Friday. No show this weekend because we are sort of now that the NBA season is done, a little lighter load here. We will get going again, like really ramping up sort of around the draft and I'm sure free agency, but we're going to have podcasts every week, hopefully beach step-ins if you get your good questions in. And we're already working on a fun squad. Hey, maybe we dust off a film session. Lots of movies we could still watch and talk about.
Philadelphia. And Dr. J's in it, so there's a basketball movie there.
maybe we'll talk about Philadelphia. Lee really wants to do that. So yeah, we will have some podcasts. We'll have some guests coming up too. So just make sure you subscribe to No Dunks wherever you listen to the podcast.
And speaking of actors, I did put up the poll. Which actor is LeBron the most like? Denzel Washington, Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, Tom Cruise. You guys want to take a guess?
Denzel. I'm guessing people go Denzel.
Yeah, I'll say Denzel.
32.5% for Denzel, followed by 28 for Meryl, 21 for Tom Cruise, 17 for Tom Hanks.
That's pretty close for
it's pretty close
for a 4-option poll to have them all that high. Okay, great. We might have to do a whole podcast on that. Go through all their movies.
And film session. We watch every movie from all 4 of these actors and talk about him. It'll be an 8-day long podcast.
Yeah. Well, we once talked about LeBron competing against a horse in every Olympic event. We did like a 30 minutes on that. So is this far-fetched? Not really. Guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to The Athletic. $1 a month, still the deal. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks to take advantage of that offer. Incredible deal. If you listen to No Dunks on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, leave your boys a 5-star rating and review. Got to mess with those algorithms, guys. Come on, help us out in terms of rankings if you haven't done so already. 5-star review, leave the review. 5-star rating, leave the review is what I'm trying to say. Clipper Bros, take us home.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, turnips, rutabaga, cabbage.
I was wondering what was going to be the third one.
I couldn't decide.
Parsnips?
Yeah, I already said that, so whatever. Yeah, sure.
Oh, you already said parsnip? Can't say it again. You said it.
No.
That's
an hour ago. Once.
I was like, when did you say it? Oh, you did say it. Embrace the day, people.
You could stay